I did hear about this Hurricane Melissa, but I didn't kind of know when, until it was close to hit.
Okay.
That's when I kind of started to tune
Pay
in
attention.
and kind of think what's going on. And also the fact that I was due to go to Jamaica. It was kind of like,
start to follow it.
Yeah, see what's going on.
I mean, when I saw it was Category 5, I was like, okay, hopefully it will drop, because I knew Category 5 isn't good.
Yeah,
so I'm thinking, okay, hopefully it will drop at least 4-3, at least, please. But as it got close, they said it's going to be 5. I was like, oh my gosh.
Because I thought
I was shocked.
To begin with, it was a little. I thought they were hyping it up.
Yeah, I was like, it must drop. It must drop.
Thought it's not going to be too bad.
And it took so long to get there.
And then I think as well, because especially if you don't know anything about storm, which most of us didn't, when you hear slow moving, you think, slow moving storm.
That's when
the
it's
worst. It's building.
Yeah, so that's what we found out afterwards. But
it's building.
I mean, being in Jamaica for like the 2 weeks before, because I think it's exactly 2 weeks before the storm hit, I should have flown out. And like Cleo, I didn't hear anything, and it wasn't until the airline contacted me and said, your flight is scheduled as programmed. However, because of the storm, you may want to
go sooner.
rearrange it.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, storm? Same thing. I was like, I looked and I saw slow moving, and I was like, I don't need to do anything. I said, you know what? Take heed. They gave you a warning, so just move it 2 days. And by the time I moved it to 2 days, so bearing in mind, they must have told me like 3 days before.
Okay.
So by the time I moved it 2 days, and those 5 days have passed now, it's they're saying, it's getting a little bit, it's picking up pace. But when picking up pace, 2 miles an hour, so I'm like, what's that? And I mean, locally, people were, what kind of storm this? This time now I do nothing, And people, they didn't take it seriously, and it actually, I'm sure it was, when did it actually hit? Was it the 28th?
I think it was the 20th. I think it was the 20th, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
28th.
It was 20th of October.
So it must have been about the 19th. So a good 10 days before, they were talking about the storm. So, and people didn't take it seriously because it took so long. I was in Jamaica last year when the other, what was it, Beryl? And it was very different, but by the time they tell you it's coming, it hit, and it was ferocious, and the rain was heavy, and thunder and lightning. This storm, it was a real creeper.
Calm before the storm, right?
When I say, even, our niece was in Kingston, and we kept ringing each other. And I was like, Danique, what is it like up there? She goes, there's nothing up here. And she said, have you got, what's happened there? This is like a couple of days before, like the 2 days before. And I said, it's just raining off and on. But it would rain, like English rain, just
that little drizzle,
drizzle rain. And then it would stop, but it would get just eerily quiet, and which was very unusual. If it rained, let it rain, and then you hear the birds. You didn't hear any birds or anything, and they say that they all know, right?
Yeah.
So when it, so like the 2 days before, it would rain and stop, and it was quiet rain. So nobody was taking it seriously. And when they were saying, go and make sure you stock up, I was stocking up because you were supposed to be coming, not because I thought I needed anything in the house. And then I think the day before, I spoke to my partner, and he was like, you get food in? I said, no. And he said, go and get, make sure you have enough food. And I thought, okay, let me go and get some money, because last year, after the storm, you couldn't buy anything because the cash machines were not working.
Wow.
And the cash machines were not working, and the machines to pay.
You
couldn't pay for use your card, so you needed cash. So I thought, let me go, and I'd taken the car back because I'd hired a vehicle, and I'd taken it back because I thought I was leaving. And so I said, let me fill up our car which was insured but not taxed. So I said, if push comes to shove and I need to drive, just make sure there's, so I went and filled it the day before, early in the morning, and there was queues at the petrol station. So I thought, ooh, it's getting a bit serious. I better go to this shop and get some extra food, like tinned provision. When I got to the shop now, round the back, the Boscobel, there was a queue. And I thought...
For that little shop?
For the little shop there, and there was the manager was at the door. No, two in, two out, two in. And I thought, bloody hell. And I waited, and this was about 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't wait that long, really, maybe 20 minutes or so. And I went in the shop. It was hot because I think by then the power had gone off.
Oh, right.
The morning, the power, and that's when I didn't like it, because I knew what it was like the 5 days that we didn't have power last year. And now in the shop now, so it went from 10 days or 8 days of people saying, no, I'm not coming, they're not buying nothing, they're not preparing.
Yeah.
And
then because it went from, it was like category 3, 2, 3 for a good while. And then I think the day before,
no, maybe a couple of days.
Or 2 days before, it went to 4 and then to 5. So when people saw it went to 4, that's when everyone went out shopping and getting stuff. Panic buying. And so I went to fill up. I filled up, went to the cash points. I think I went to 3 cash points locally. They were all out of money. And so I thought, okay, I've got a little something in the house. And when I came back in, that 24 hours before. No, that was Tuesday morning. That was Tuesday morning, and the storm hit us Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. No, Wednesday. So Tuesday night, that's when it started getting heavier. The rain started getting, and the wind now. You could hear the trees. That's the scariest thing, when you see some big ass trees that are solid normally, and they're moving and they're creaking. Wow. And it just looks scary. And it's not supposed to be like that. And I remember looking, when it started raining now, the Wednesday morning, and I looked out the window where I could normally see the neighbour's house. It was just like mist. The neighbour,
like mist, like fog.
Yeah, it was like the clouds will come down to the land, so you can't. It's like And I thought, it just eerie. Felt it was just eerie. And as I said, that you couldn't hear the birds, or it was just deadly quiet. And then because the power is gone, so you haven't got local noise in the distance or anything. You haven't got the noise of the traffic, even though it's not a lot of traffic. The road noise you would normally hear. So everything was really quiet, and I just kept thinking, oh, please let the power. I just didn't like it when the power was off, because at least when the power was on, you could watch the news and hear what's going on. Yeah. And that day just seemed long. That day seemed really long, and it was just rain. Even though the storm was supposed to have been coming almost on Jamaica now, it was still quiet where I was, because remember, we're in northeast, and it was hitting. It came like round the bottom of Jamaica. So Park Kingston is here, and
didn't really touch Kingston, did it?
No. So it's curved around Kingston, and it's heading to Negril. But before it reached Negril, now when it reached Black River, it turned. So when it reached Black River down here, Negril is here, it's turned and gone across land. So it's going now up towards north, which is where we are. So even though it was northwest, that water that we said it's collecting is bringing everything across the island. And man, to be honest, when the rain came, it was just more the wind and the rain and the wind. I went to sleep. I think Laura rang me and he said, "Nordia, you all right?" I don't know how he got through because that was it. The signal kept coming and going.
Yeah.
So sometimes somebody might ring you and they just get in a window. It might be like a few seconds because I remember quite a few times Laurel rang and you just hear him talk for a few seconds and then it's gone again. But I remember he rang and because we were waiting, I think this was Tuesday night into Wednesday. And once it's 5:30, I just by 6 o'clock, 5:30 is sunset. So by 6 o'clock more time, I just got to bed to try and sleep it out. But I think Laurel rang and I was sleeping. And then I thought, it was still quiet at this time, like 6-ish.
In the morning?
Six evening. But it's dark like midnight. And I thought, okay, let me go in the garage and turn the car on so I can listen to the radio to see what's happening.
Okay.
And they're still talking about it's coming and it's turning and whatever. And I can't even really remember much of that night. It's like rain, you're just hearing the wind. Woo, yes. That's what happened. The wind now starts woo. Because it's gone from quiet now. And when I first heard that woo, it's like it's something. I mean, that was a scary because I'm thinking now, is something gonna lift up? And you're hearing things. When I looked out the window now, I just see that around the swimming pool, the chairs now start just move and things are falling. I thought, Jesus Christ! But you're watching, and then it will go quiet, then it start again, and that just went on all night. I heard because there was a big tree around the back that you just hear when it's crack, the cracking of the tree, and then it fell. And I'm thinking, my God, what was falling over there? But we had solar lights around the back. And when I look, I could just see all branches and trees. But I couldn't actually see what tree. I could just see because a lot of the trees now, bits are flying. So there's a lot of debris in the back and around the pool. And I heard it blew off some pots. So they smashed like china pots around the back. And I don't know, it was a long night. I thought I slept and woke up and it's morning now and it's like about 2 a.m. And it's still going on. And I think I had 3 phones, so I charged them and just put the music on to just try and distract myself. And it was just a long night. It was music. I just played music, kept sleeping and waking up, sleeping and waking up. And then when I woke up in the morning, it was just quiet again. So, and when I looked out, I could see all the debris around the back. But when I went and listened to the radio now, I think this was about 6 a.m. because it was daylight, and they were saying, how they were telling us about how terrible it had been and that it hit Black River first and whatever. And they said, nobody, don't leave. The station I was listening to is IRI FM, which is local. Well, it's Ocherius, so it's local to us. And they were saying, if you're in St. Mary and you're trying to traverse, if you're trying to traverse to Ochi, or if you're in Ochi trying to traverse to St. Mary, don't bother. Mission impossible. I thought, he said, and then they started describing. They said there's just trees down and electrical poles, and so and I was thinking, well, because again, even though we weren't expecting it, but because it went to category 5, that it's bad. But they kept saying west of the island. So I think even though we heard it was coming, that we still didn't expect all the trees and the debris and the power lines were down. I drove right round the back of our house. You know, there's a road that goes round the back, and all our electric lines run around there, and all the trees were just collapsed inwards. So I couldn't even drive down there. I looked, I saw it was like dead end, and I had to come back. And then when I drove to the bottom of the road, all the power lines going down our road
down?
now. Not all of them, but a lot of them was
Just down.
just down. Yeah, there's a big trailer at the bottom of our road.
What happened to that?
I don't. We're still trying to decide what it was. Someone thought it was the metal roof of the trailer because there's a big sheet sitting like as long as this room. The trailer's about 20 foot.
At least, yeah.
At least 20 foot. It looked like the top of the trailer, and it was just like a sheet, just
Of metal.
On the
yeah.
floor.
Wow.
But what it looked like when I said to someone, "Oh, did that come off the trailer?" Because I'm assuming because it's next to the trailer, and someone said, "No, if it was from the trailer, the wind would have taken that far." They said it's from the airport.
What?
Oh,
And then when you know the Boscobel airport,
Yeah.
so then when not that day, but when I later went to Ochi and I passed the airport, so all the sheets from like the top of the airport, you could see it just lifted them. And on the radio they said that one woman got decapitated from flying zinc.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, certain on the way to Ochi. An Ochi town, that the road that brings you up to St Mary's, the trees were like dominoes. It was just all the roots up in the air, and I thought I was like in shock. I thought it looked like a war zone, you know. And then for the days immediately afterwards, there was no water, no electricity,
And
no.
that's the thing, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
you
like-
couldn't communicate. So even like people that are nearby, because even the neighbour, because she didn't know that I was still there. She thought that I'd gone.
Okay.
And she said when she saw the car leave the day before, me going to fill up, and she thought I'd left because she didn't see when I came back. So she just thought I'd gone. So she was saying she was shocked that she didn't realise I was there by myself. And she said, "Oh, you could have come over with us." I said, "I wasn't scared of being by myself. It was just hearing the wind."
That's what I was
and
going to say. That I would have been scared.
No, I wasn't scared of being by
scared.
myself. But it's even when she was trying to ring, you can't get through. Just a neighbour just there. You can't get through to anyone. And because you know there might be flying debris,
You don't
Can't
want
You
to
need
come
to-
out.
yeah, you need
can't
to
come
stay
out.
inside.
Yeah.
And then well, you know, we've got electric gates, so we normally just press the to open the gates
remote,
electronically. Remote.
No power.
And we couldn't because there's no power. But luckily last year we cut a gate, a
Yeah.
pedestrian gate into
right,
it,
yeah.
so we could get out. But
Wow. Or else
I
you would
just-
have been trapped.
yeah,
Been
yeah.
climbing over.
And then I forgot now that I should have moved the car outside. I should have moved the car outside so that I can drive down the hill.
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yes, of course.
we've got the manual key, but
Yeah.
then
You can do it. Do you know how to do it?
yeah.
Okay.
However, the caretaker had the key,
Okay.
and then Daniqua had the other one.
Okay.
So I didn't have the manual key to open
to get the thing.
to go out. But yeah, after the storm, when we started hearing how devastating the other areas were, it was horrible because you couldn't contact right up until the Tuesday night. I could contact other family members around Jamaica and hear how they were. But after that, we couldn't contact each other, so you don't know if they're safe or they're not safe. You know, and then if people that didn't get enough provisions, when you did get to go into the town areas, to go in the shops now, the shops are out of
Empty.
Oh,
it's
okay.
empty. Water especially,
Yeah,
because if you didn't have water, bottled water, I mean we had we got water drums, so we had water to bathe and flush the toilet and things like that. But to cook, you know, and to cook or to drink. And this is what was really devastating when you saw the areas where houses, complete houses,
Gone.
gone. You know, and there were people. I was there for I think 2 weeks after because the airports were closed. When I got to the airport in Montego Bay, the roof.
Yeah,
a lot
because
of
when I saw some of the footage of
Montego
Montego
Bay.
Bay, I thought, is that real?
Yeah.
I started to kind of question
If
it.
it was
but-
No,
No,
Theo,
it was.
when I got on that Knutsford to
To the airport.
to go to the airport, so I've travelled from Ochi right across the north coast through. When you leave Ochi, you have Runaway Bay, Discovery Bay, and
That
the
whole
further I
stretch.
got along that stretch, it's like the colour was being drained away from all of the plants, and it looks like England in winter.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's serious.
It looked like England in winter. So by the time you reach Falmouth, you just saw zinc intermingle
Wind
with
with the
tree and
trees.
bush and wire. I had to. It choked me up,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
I was blinking away the tears because I was sitting at the front, so it's like I had a panoramic view of everything. And I couldn't believe it, even though you were hearing the reports of a couple of days. When you saw the devastation, and remember,
And that's 2 weeks after,
Ochi.
isn't it? Yeah.
Ochi was far from the devastation, right?
Yeah.
But what I realised, because I have a property in Mandeville, so after I think about a week, I thought I need to go and see what the property is. Fortunately, the government opened up all the tolls because a lot of the A roads were still blocked.
Yeah.
People get like halfway, three-quarters way somewhere.
Can't get
The
through.
roads are blocked and they can't get through, so they opened up all the tolls.
Makes sense.
So
good.
so we
Yeah.
could drive through.
That's good.
And I drove, and you drive through areas, and you'd have like trees untouched standing here, and areas of the landscape, and then right beside it you could see where the storm just went through, and it's just flattened. Or if the trees are standing there, void of all the leaves and plants, and you'd see a house standing untouched next to one that's ravaged.
Wow.
It was,
Wow.
and I just kept saying, Mother Nature, it's like Mother Nature and Father God were out there doing whatever was happening, and just thank God that, I wasn't injured, I wasn't harmed. Thank God for Dad, because, what they say on site about belts and braces, meaning you double do things, They might say build this wall with half-inch board, and you build it with double. And that's what our dad did. Generally, they build properties out there with 6-inch bricks, and Dad built it with 8-inch. Just in case there's a storm or a earthquake.
Yeah.
And my God, the house stood still.
Yeah.
We didn't have any problem. Thank God, thank Dad for his insight.
You would be sitting, you imagine, you'd be like, but I knew
but
that.
I told you, And we used to complain because we have trouble with Wi-Fi because the walls are so thick.
All right.
But we didn't have an issue. Our neighbour, the water came in. Their basement was flooded. They had water coming in the roof. We've had property, Uncle Ozzy's house, the entire roof lifted off. The entire roof. Then one of my properties in Mandeville, the water got into the roof.
Okay.
So where so much water came in from the rain, it was too heavy for the plasterboard ceiling. All the ceilings came down. All of the ceilings came down. So there was a lot. There's still people in Jamaica now. We are, where are we? December? Month and a...
So about 6 weeks, is it? It's got to be about 6 weeks. It's 28th of October.
Right.
And we're now hurricane?
Yeah, probably.
And it's about
6
6 weeks, and there's still people that do not have
power
and water.
It's crazy.
There's still people without power and water. There's a lot of people. There's areas inland in Clarendon and Manchester where the amount of water that fell on the land is draining. So up on the hills, wherever there's valleys, the water is coming down. And water has covered, up in the hills, have covered houses.
Wow.
And that's just, you know, they're not near the sea. And you're thinking they're so far above sea level, but where the water's coming from further up and it's going into valleys or you know, depression in the soil, the water table is rising.
Wow.
So all this time after the storm, people are still
but
losing
you've
their
been
properties.
Hearing, people saying that the water's rising.
Yeah.
And then you hear that a lot of things have been displaced as well.
That's
You hear
right.
crocodile.
Yeah.
A lot of animals, a lot of animals. So people that are farming. Our helper her, she said most of her chickens, you know, she raised chickens. Most of the chickens died because it got cold, and then the amount of water.
Wow.
You know, it felt like I was in a war zone. And like you said, Clea, when you're hearing the reports, you thought, but when you see it, honestly, it's a shock. It's a shock.
And
Because
then
even the airport, they were showing some of the gates at the Montego Bay airport was damaged and whatever. And I thought, is that AI? Are they, you know?
No,
but then I heard it was proper.
Yeah.
It was. You know, usually
Well,
when you come
obviously 'cause
into
the flights
Montego
were
Bay,
cancelled.
it is very vibrant. That's what you normally see. When you get in, you see all the colours. Now, all those hotels that are like from Mobay all along.
Yes, all that stretch.
Normally it's just full of
palm trees.
Palm trees and all the plants at the front, so you can't really see in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
you just see the tops from a distance. Yeah. But now you can look through.
All right.
You know, like when it snows, any wooded area in the UK, when it snows, you see every single tree because the snow kind of highlights it.
Okay.
That's what it was. It was like all of a sudden you can see every single tree that is still standing. You can't see any greenery or vegetation, and you can see the buildings behind that you never could see before. You know, it's just total devastation.
I mean, even the hotels, you know, a lot of the hotels got damaged.
A lot of them got damaged.
Yeah.
I saw videos of crocodile and shark in swimming
That's
pool.
what I heard.
You didn't see? I saw it.
I was like, is it real first? But then,
it is. It is, because you see the sea came in. So where all that water's come in,
push everything
it's
in.
pushed everything in. So some of the marine life were in the pools, and in other areas, some of the marine life is in rivers and you know on the road. You just see that crocodile on the road and. It was the first time in my life that I wanted to leave, and I even felt guilty that I could leave. Because you know, hundreds and thousands of people, that's their reality, and they couldn't leave. You know, and they're still there trying to rebuild their. And I hope the British government, because it's still a Commonwealth country.
Well, they did. They said it was 2 million or something.
Initially.
I think initially until people started to think, you know, remind them how much they gave to what do you call it?
Ukraine.
Yes.
You
And
know?
then it went, was it 7 or something?
I don't know.
I
think it was,
Which is still, you know, menial. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the thing is as well, people kind of think that happened a long time ago, and because like not forgotten about, but it's just I mean, it's like
but then the reality is going to take years.
It will take a long time.
It will take a long time.
It will take a long time.
Years.